The boxing world is buzzing with anticipation as Terence "Bud" Crawford prepares to face Canelo Alvarez in a super fight scheduled for September 13, 2025, in Las Vegas. This clash between two of boxing's biggest stars has sparked intense debate, with fans, analysts, and professionals weighing in on Crawford's chances against the naturally larger Canelo. The build-up to this fight has been marked by Crawford's intense training, strategic mind games, and the weight of what a victory could mean for his legacy. The question on everyone's mind is whether Crawford's skill, adaptability, and preparation can overcome Canelo's size, power, and experience at 168 pounds. Crawford, a two-weight undisputed champion, has long been regarded as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. His journey to this moment has been defined by his ability to dominate opponents across multiple weight classes, from lightweight to welterweight, where he reigned supreme at 147 pounds for years. Now, stepping up two weight classes to face Canelo at super middleweight, Crawford is taking on the biggest challenge of his career. The fight is not just a test of skill but a potential career-defining moment that could cement his place among boxing's all-time greats or signal the end of his remarkable run. The excitement around this matchup stems from the contrasting styles and narratives surrounding the two fighters. Canelo, a four-division world champion and two-time undisputed super middleweight king, is known for his durability, power, and ring generalship. His recent performances, including a hard-fought victory over William Skull to reclaim undisputed status in May 2025, have solidified his position as one of boxing's biggest draws. However, some critics argue that Canelo, now in his mid-30s, may be slowing down, particularly after struggling to break down Skull in his last outing. Crawford, on the other hand, is coming off a tough but successful fight against Israil Madrimov in 2024, where he won a world title at 154 pounds via unanimous decision. That fight showcased Crawford's ability to adapt and overcome a durable, skilled opponent, but it also raised questions about how he'll fare against a naturally bigger fighter like Canelo. The size disparity is a central talking point, with Canelo's experience at 168 pounds and even higher giving him a physical edge. Yet Crawford supporters argue that his technical brilliance, speed, and ring IQ could neutralize Canelo's advantages. Training footage released by Crawford has only fueled the debate. In clips shared by Ring magazine, Crawford is seen shadowboxing, working the heavy bag, and performing core exercises with a noticeably bulkier physique. This suggests he's already adjusting to the 168-pound weight class, a significant jump from his natural 147 pounds. Fans and analysts have been quick to dissect the footage, with some praising his sharpness and power. One observer noted that Crawford looked sharp as hell, having gained power while maintaining the speed that made him a terror at welterweight. Another suggested he could outbox Canelo, leveraging his technical prowess to win rounds. A third fan was even more optimistic, claiming Crawford's smoothness and precision would lead to a victory, as Canelo's slower footwork could be a liability. However, not everyone is convinced. Some skeptics argue that Crawford's move to super middleweight has come at a cost. One commenter remarked that he looked slower, potentially struggling to carry his speed up two weight classes. Another went further, suggesting Crawford appeared old and nearly 40, predicting that Canelo's power would overwhelm him. A third fan, while not writing Crawford off entirely, expressed concern about his ability to compete in a division where he's naturally undersized. These contrasting opinions highlight the uncertainty surrounding Crawford's performance on fight night. Crawford's training approach has also raised eyebrows. In a Ring magazine video featuring Dana White, Tom Brady, Shaquille O'Neal, Canelo, and Crawford, the topic of preparation came up. When Brady asked Crawford how intensely he was training, his response was surprising: "I'm not training hard. I'm not even training really." He explained that he's avoiding overtraining to prevent burnout, focusing instead on strength work and recovery. This calculated approach contrasts with fighters like George Kambosos Jr., who was hospitalized for exhaustion before a fight due to overtraining. Crawford's comments, however, may have been strategic, designed to downplay his preparation and unsettle Canelo. Context is key here. The video was filmed before Canelo's fight against Skull on May 3, 2025, meaning Crawford's lighter training phase was likely months ago. Recent reports indicate he's now in full training mode. Last week, he arrived in Riyadh for a press conference and was seen training at the Mike Tyson gym, completing a full workout that included shadowboxing, heavy bag drills, jump rope, and core exercises. Footage showed a focused and sharp Crawford, suggesting he's ramping up with purpose as the fight approaches. Crawford's confidence was on full display at the press conference, where he dismissed Canelo's size advantage. "I ain't scared," he declared, referencing Canelo's claim of being the bigger man. Crawford vowed to walk him down and prove his doubters wrong, just as he has throughout his career. He's also made bold choices in negotiations, refusing to request a catchweight, rehydration limits, or a rematch clause. "I want him at his best," Crawford said of Canelo, signaling his belief in his ability to win without excuses. The boxing community is divided on Crawford's chances. Roy Jones Jr., a former multi-division champion, expressed shock at Crawford's training clips, noting that he's hitting harder than ever while maintaining the speed he had at 147 pounds. Jones acknowledged Canelo's advantages but emphasized Crawford's confidence and preparation. Others, like Amir Khan, who has faced both fighters, offer a more nuanced perspective. Khan, who fought Crawford at welterweight and Canelo at middleweight, described Canelo as stronger and easier to hit but warned that his power could be decisive. He recalled being competitive with Canelo on points before a devastating knockout, suggesting Crawford's technical skills could keep him in the fight but expressing concern about his ability to absorb Canelo's punches over 12 rounds. Khan also highlighted Crawford's strengths, noting that he's a technical fighter who was nearly impossible to hit cleanly during their 2019 bout. Crawford's ability to adapt and feel out opponents is one of his greatest assets, and he's banking on this skill to counter Canelo's power. "I'm the type of guy who likes to feel my fighters out and adjust to what they're doing," Crawford said. "I think that's my greatest attribute, to be able to figure out every opponent I've faced thus far." The stakes for this fight are enormous. A victory over Canelo would be the biggest of Crawford's career, potentially surpassing his dominant win over Errol Spence Jr. in 2023. It could also be a defining moment for his legacy, with some, like Jeff Mayweather, suggesting it might prompt Crawford to retire. "If he beats Canelo, I think that will be enough for him," Mayweather said. "That would probably be one of the greatest achievements in boxing, a guy moving up 3 weight classes." The financial rewards are also significant, with Crawford expected to earn around $10 million, adding to his estimated net worth of $8 to $18 million. However, not everyone is sold on the fight's competitiveness. Oscar de la Hoya, a boxing legend and promoter, has been vocal in his criticism, calling the matchup laughable due to the size difference. He pointed to Crawford's tough fight against Madrimov, where he struggled to push back his opponent, as evidence that Canelo could run him out of the ring. De la Hoya also took aim at Dana White's involvement as a co-promoter, questioning his credentials in boxing and accusing him of being handed the fight on a silver platter. The scheduling of the fight during the day on September 13th, to accommodate a UFC event later that evening, further fueled De La Hoya's frustration, as it breaks with the tradition of primetime boxing on Mexican Independence Weekend. The controversy surrounding the fight's promotion reflects broader tensions in boxing's power structure. Saudi Arabia's growing influence, led by figures like Turki Al-Sheikh, has reshaped the sport, enabling massive matchups like this one. While some see this as a positive for boxing, others, like De La Hoya, argue it undermines tradition and prioritizes money over legacy. Crawford, for his part, remains focused on the task at hand. During a Q&A session with fans in Sydney, Australia, he brushed off questions about his post-fight plans, saying, "I don't eat before I have the food on my table, so right now I'm at 168 to fight Canelo, and that's the only thing I'm thinking about." His determination to seize this opportunity is clear, as he views Canelo as the most accomplished fighter of his generation, aside from himself. The fight's outcome hinges on several factors. Can Crawford's speed and technical mastery outmaneuver Canelo's power and experience? Will his adaptation to 168 pounds compromise his agility, or has he gained enough strength to compete? Canelo's durability and ability to close distances could pose problems, but his stamina has been questioned in longer fights. Crawford's ability to adjust mid-fight and exploit Canelo's slower footwork could be key, but absorbing a clean shot from Canelo remains a concern. As September 13th approaches, the boxing world waits with bated breath. This fight is not just about titles or money but about legacy and the chance to make history. For Crawford, it's an opportunity to prove he can conquer any challenge, regardless of size or odds. For Canelo, it's a chance to solidify his dominance and silence a dangerous challenger. Whether Crawford's calculated approach, intense training, and mental games will pay off remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: this super fight will be a spectacle that defines the sport for years to come.